If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Zig Ziglar. I know you're tired of missing goals. Why do I know this? Because if you were consistently achieving goals, you probably would not be watching a video about how to make sure you can achieve your goals, because instead you would be out doing something like buying your next dream car or planning your next dream vacation.
Hey dude, just got back from Jamaica.
Or even diving into that creative project you've had on the back burner for years.
Do we all have our copy of Threat Level Midnight by Michael Scott?
So stick with me here, and I'm going to give you the formula for not just setting the right goals, but also making sure that you consistently achieve your goals. Because if I can go from a frequent goal misser into a consistent goal achiever, I know you can do it too. The gurus in business talk a lot of so what the do I think about this quote?
It's true.
Dwight is right, and I'm about to tell you why. But first, I'm Amy Walker, small business strategist, and welcome to my channel. If you're here for the first time, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. Do it, please. Because I don't know, I think it's pretty useful. Before I tell you why I think this quote is like really amazing, bomb.com type level, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this quote? Let me know in the comments below. So when I was new as an entrepreneur, I really struggled with achievement. I loved setting goals. I would, at the beginning of every month, I would get out my notepad and my paper and pen, and I would just map out the month, and I would set all of the goals. And one of my mentors told me once that you should, as you're setting goals, you should also plan out your income and where you're going to spend it. So I would do that. I'd have this beautiful plan, and then nothing.
Oh, still lame. Okay.
I would get to mid-month and all of a sudden I would feel panicky that I was behind, and so I would hustle, and the end of the month would start to approach, and all of a sudden it was like, I'm not going to hit this goal. There's no possible way to do it. And I would tell myself, it's okay, we'll do it next month. We'll do it next month. We'll do it next month. Well, guess what, you guys? Next month starts to feel really terrible after a while, and you really do hit this point where you feel like, is it just me? Is there something wrong with me? Am I inherently wired to not be successful and to not hit my goals? And it gets really frustrating. So when we talk about, aiming for nothing and hitting it every single time, I get that. I feel it. If you don't have goals, I guarantee you're not going to hit success. But here's the part that I want to tag onto it. We talk a lot about setting goals and what's the process for how we should set goals. What are the right goals? Are we doing it consistently enough? We don't talk enough about the part of goal achievement. So today I'm going to share with you my formula. And by the way, you guys, I created the first ever acronym that I've ever created in my life. So we're going to build off of SMART goals, but we're going to add on to it. So think SMART trap. Do you like it? That's going to be the formula for how you can make sure that you are always achieving your goals, consistently. You can bank on it. It's going to happen. So the first part of achieving your goals is obviously that you do have to set the right ones. Setting really big, unrealistic goals every single month and not having a plan in place for how you're going to achieve it is not going to set you up for the win. And back in my notepad goal setting days, that's exactly what I was doing. In fact, I remember my goal was always $50,000. I'm going to make $50,000 this month. And I was achieving 2 to 5 on average. So going from 2 to 5 to 50, yes, that's a good goal, but it wasn't a realistic goal. I didn't have it broken down. So my first steps in this process are going to be setting SMART goals. I love the SMART goal system because it helps you realize if you are setting the right ones. Now, I am all for having big dreams. In fact, I think the bigger your dreams are, the more likely you are to be successful. But you have to have also SMART goals that lead up to the big dreams. You can't just go for the big dreams and not have the stair-step plan in place.
But you know what else would have been nice? Winning the lottery.
Whenever someone tells me that their goal is to do a big number, like let's say they say, I want to do 100,000 a month. My first question is, okay, well, what are you doing right now? And they'll say like, oh, well, you know, some months are good and some months are not quite as good. I'm like, what's the number? And if that number is like $2,000, then I'll say, okay, so the next goal is 10K per month. They're like, but that's not really what I want. I know, but you're not going to hit 100K until you hit 10K and then 20 and then 30 and 40. Like, we have to have that progression in place. So let's review what SMART goals are. Number one, it needs to be specific. Your goal has to be really clear and specific, not vague. So saying things like, yeah, I really want to create growth in my business and have more balance in my life. That's totally unspecific and it's not going to work. The second thing that you need is a measurable goal. You have to be able to track if you are progressing towards this goal. So me saying something like, I really want to eat healthy. How do I track that? I want to eat sugar only 1 day a week. I want to limit my Ben & Jerry's consumption to 1 a month. You know, like, what does that actually look like and how am I going to measure it? Because if I can't measure the goal, then it's really arbitrary. I don't know if I'm getting closer or if I'm not, or, you know, does it really matter if I ate 2 tubs versus just 1? I hope you can tell that Ben & Jerry's is actually part of my issue. It's a little bit addictive. Dang it. Third thing, it needs to be attainable. This is why when people tell me, I want to do 100K a month, and they're doing 2, that we have to focus on 10. Because at this point, 100K is not attainable. Can I say that again? Not attainable. No, no, no. It's really not. If you don't have the systems in place to do 10K, I promise you don't have the strategy and systems in place to do 100K. But you can start and you can build up to it, but it has to be attainable right now. Which leads us into the next one, which is relevant. Why does this matter? How many times have you set a goal because it sounded really cool and then you get into it and you're like, why does this really even matter? Is it really that important? Do I really need to do it? This goal needs to feel relevant to you to the point where you're like, I must achieve this goal, because every single person in the course of their goal achievement will hit the point where you have to look at yourself and have an honest conversation and say, is this really worth it? Do I really want to pay the price of success? Because right now it's hard. Right now, I don't know what I need to do next. And right now, I feel like it would be easier to not do it. And if that goal is not relevant, you're going to struggle to push through and be like, yes, we're doing it. All right, the last part of the SMART system is that it needs to be time-based. So this is number 5, time-based. You have to have a time deadline on it. So if your goal is 100K in a month, when does that need to be done by? It's by the end of this month, right? Like, that is time specific. Sometimes your goals don't happen in the timeline that you set up. That does not mean you shouldn't set up a timeline, because the timeline propels you into action. It keeps you from sitting back and just hoping like, oh, well, I put it on my vision board, so it'll be here any day now. Cool, put it on your vision board and create a SMART goal around it. So you need to have a timeline in place. Now, as a person of faith, I will say that I think sometimes God's timeline is different than mine, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that I shouldn't still be setting goals that are time specific. It just means sometimes I need to be a little bit flexible in my faith that it is going to come together, even if it didn't come together exactly in the timeline that I wanted. So I want to be clear, I did not invent SMART goals, but I told you this is the first ever acronym that I've ever come up with in my life. So SMART traps, the traps part, totally came up with that. So here you go. First part of traps is that you have to be able to track and have your tracking in place. So this means watching your numbers, watching your performance. Too often people are like only looking at the number of sales that are coming in, and they're not looking at all of the numbers that they need and tracking how is marketing going, how is sales going, how is our productivity and performance going. You have to be able to track performance, or you will not know the accurate picture of if you're on track to meet that goal or not. That is essential. Not tracking is like when I see that Sandra Bullock movie where she's driving her car blindfolded. Now, I never actually saw the movie, but I saw that frame and I was like, that's really crazy. Why would you ever drive a car with a blindfold on? Why would you ever run a business without tracking? Crazy.
Yeah!
The R in traps is routine. You need to create a routine that sets you up to be able to do the things that you need to do. So for example, one of my big goals that I am working on is becoming a published fiction author. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you might be like, yeah, Amy, you've been talking about that for a while. Well, guess what? It actually takes longer to write, publish, and edit books than I originally thought. So I'm still working on it. Get your head in the game. But the biggest challenge that I've been having that has been keeping me from achieving that goal has been the routine. I have a great routine for running my business and my family. Writing every single day, that's hard to fit into the routine. And so what I've had to do is start waking up at 5 a.m. and I write from about 5 until 7:30. That is my writing time. And then I block out 1 or 2 Fridays a month in order to be able to write and get my word count up. And I have had to just say, you know what, if we have an event going on or like a big project, then I pause writing because that's the best that I can do. That's the best routine that I can create. But when we have a routine that supports our habits for success, that's going to allow us to be able to achieve those goals. I promise you, I am getting way more done by being realistic about my routine than I was when I was like, okay, I'm going to write 4,000 words every single day. Well, how? I don't know. Well, when? When I can fit it in? Like, that doesn't work. I have to have a routine that is really going to help me be successful. Next is the A, accountability. You've got to have other people who are aware of the goal and are holding you accountable to the goal. So this month with my sales goal, I have been telling everybody what my sales goal is. Like, this is my goal for this month. Here's where we're at. This is my goal for this month. Here's where I'm at. And so people can hold me accountable. So that way, when I hit like that wall, that always happens right before you achieve, that wall, when I'm like, well, maybe like a 80K month is not so bad. Like that's good. We can just be grateful for that. That I have people are like, no, Amy, that was not the goal. The goal was a 6-figure month. So what are you doing? Where are you at? What does that achievement look like? Like, I need that accountability. I have this in my writing. I have this in my business. I have this in my marriage. I have this in my health journey. And you better believe that when my accountability partner does not hear from me, she knows exactly what is going on. Amy's not working out, and there was Ben and Jerry's involved. Not again. The P, let's talk about the P. So traps is spelled with 1 P, but I actually want you to pay attention to 2 Ps. Here's your Ps, project and perfect. Okay, this is part of being really great at goal achievement, is the ability to project out how things are going to go, but then to look at what is actually happening and perfect the process. I always tell my clients when we launch something new, this is a hypothesis. It is an educated guess. We have studied it out. We think we know what's going to happen, but as soon as we launch, whether it's a new sales strategy or a new program or a new marketing strategy, whatever it is, it's a hypothesis. We need to project out and do our best to lay out everything we need to be successful. And then we need to watch how it goes. Like, you honestly just have to sit back and watch and say, okay, well, what is actually happening here? Is it working the way that we thought it was going to? And if not, what do we need to tweak or adjust in order to make that work? The S, we are to the final step of SMART traps. Do you guys love this acronym? If you don't, it's okay. You don't have to tell me. You can just pretend like you do. It's kind of like when I build Legos with my kids. They are always terrible, but we pretend like they're good anyway. This is what I'm talking about. Oops. So, Smart traps, we're down to the S. It is share. You need to share your results and share your celebrations, because celebrating your wins is going to help propel you towards the next goal. There is really something to be said for when you achieve a goal and you don't share it with anyone else and you just go on to what's next, you're teaching your subconscious that it didn't really matter that you hit that goal. It didn't really matter. It wasn't a big deal. And so then the next time, if you're struggling, it doesn't really matter. It wasn't a big deal last time either way. You are programming your subconscious that it doesn't matter. You need to make it matter. When you create that win, you need to share it. You need to celebrate. You need to let other people be involved in that so that you send your brain that signal that this is a very big deal. Your subconscious and your mind only believe what you tell them to believe, and you're programming it either for success or for mediocrity. You get to choose. All right, my friends, go out there and do some Smart Traps goals. Let me know how it's going. If you are looking specifically for help and you've got goals around your sales and marketing, then I would love for you to take our Sales and Marketing GPS. It's an assessment that will help you analyze where you're at with your sales and marketing, and then we send you an 8-page improvement plan so that you can always make sure that you're on track to hit those sales and marketing goals. If you haven't done it yet, come join us in our private Facebook group, Acquire, and like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear from us again, and hit that bell notification so that you get notified every time we release new content that is designed to help you grow your business. I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave, because you're going to go get to work on your business.